trying to do the Saturday crossword on January 31st. This one is by Nick Merritt's, and it's a debut puzzle for him. It's always quite interesting to have a debut puzzle on Saturday, because those are always the hardest ones. And typically, I think new constructors like to do themed puzzles to start out with, and so it's really interesting to see what this one can do. Oh, I like this grid shape. Let's just take a look at this. So, I really like these long corners over here. Let's just see what we can do with this. Let's see. Guides, peace out. I do know this one. This is Mikhail Tal. So, from Russia or USSR at the time. Let's see. Part of a great deal. What is part of a great deal? I know there is the great deal. Or maybe a great deal as an ace. It might be a great deal if you get an ace in a deal of cards. Opulent. What could be opulent? Opulent, sort of big, posh. Maybe posh is the word. To say hey, slangily, maybe to holla. So opulent could be posh. Tubers from which a gluten-free, I think it's taros, type of flowers. Okay, let's see. Pyroclastic material. Pyroclastic. What does clastic mean? Pyro means fire, but what is clastic? So I don't know. Maybe it's not posh, because this does not look right. Something, dessert introduced to the in the 1780s after discovered it in France. Maybe it's a roll then. Something roll. What is this? Major product of Milan. Science is something that works. I don't know. Maybe it's not roll. What is this? Ones who handle minor health concerns. I think minor is the key word here, so it should be a pediatrician. Pediatricians, ones who help minor health problems. All right, what else is there? Peace out. Maybe it's adieu. It's kind of a weird. I mean, I think peace out means a very different thing than adieu. Adieu is sort of a farewell. So maybe it's not that. This is an S at the end. They're at the tops of some ladders. I think CEOs, talking about career ladders here. Like one in pointe shoes. A ballerina, sort of lithe, sort of deft, graceful in a way. Cafe chain. I don't know. Sheet music abbreviation is probably retardando, so RIT perhaps. English lesson subject for short. Maybe it's not RIT. It could be a lot of abbreviations in sheet music. So let's see what else there is. Grappling is used in this. Grappling. Martial arts. Nice. Okay, opulent is rich, so not posh, but it's rich. That's all right. Herman. I've heard of this name because I know that there was some test. Sneller. I think it was a Sneller eye chart, the one that has like the big E on top. Then what is this? Something cream. Perhaps. Major product of Milan is I don't know. Sex Pistols song disparaging the band's former label. Was there a thing called Era? Was it Era? Science is magic that works. What is this? Pyroclastic. Oh, slag. This is like molten material, like molten waste in a way. I think that's what pyroclastic material is. So, all right, salami. Major product in Milan. Yes. Okay. Fun activity for a summer day. Fun activity for a summer day. Something Rick. I thought it was Snellen picnic perhaps. Snellen makes. I think that might be correct. Compound in some sleep aids. I think it is CBD because I've heard of CBD oil, which I always get confused with THC, which is the ingredient in weed. But I think this might be right. Rings might be dials, perhaps. Let's see if this works. Serving of meatloaf is a slab. Okay, now I'm convinced that dials is correct. Yes and no might be certain replies. And to deliberate or deliberate, like a sort of planned thing, maybe. If it was deliberate, it was planned. Let's see. Indication of good air quality is lichen, I think. So this is ice cream. Something ice cream. Daughter of King minus. Is this Ariane, perhaps? Offering that's fresh off the press. What's fresh off the press? I mean, it could be Ari. How do you say that? Well, la di da. Then this could be a D, I suppose. It could, N or fresh off the press might be cider. Let's see what this is. Italians. Bolognese, Parmesan. Um, so these are examples of names of people from certain Italian cities. So Bolognese is someone from Bologna, I think, and so on. So I think it's Italians because this is an S. Yeah, dice rolls from jail to free parking. Some number ones, twos. It could be some other thing. Common folks, maybe the peons or the plebs. So I'll see what other word I get here. Foundation of music. Foundation of music. Um, Not on the top of my head, I can't think of what that would be. So, what could this ice cream be? Vanilla ice cream. That's the right number of letters. Perturb is to rile. You might rile up someone. They're at the top of some ladders informally. What is this? Oh, adios. It's not adieu, it's adios. All right. In some ways, weird because adieu and adios both mean like literally translated the same thing. Adieu is farewell, but it's in a sense that you would say it to someone that you would likely never see again. And then adios is just a sort of casual goodbye. It's interesting how language works like that. Like someone in point shoes might be on toe. I've definitely heard that phrase only in puzzles, but I don't know. I've never described something as on toe ever. English lesson subject is vocab. It might be R as an arranged by. Cafe chain is okay. So baseline is the foundation of music. Apt name for a chef might be stew. Dice rolls from okay. That should be twos then, or what else is that? Tens, perhaps tens. Common folk are the plebs, not the peons in this case. Training courses, maybe clinics. Incubi, I believe. Yeah. Just UBI. Only that's the only sequence of letters I could think of. French bun. What could a French bun? It's not a croissant. Doesn't fit there. Sorry, honey, no dear. I suppose those are proper letters. Menu bar option is edit. In an edit menu, like sort of on the top. What you have in mind might be ideas, perhaps. Protection, maybe an aegis. Then what is this? French bun, silly me, dough, perhaps. And Mr. and Mrs. is a title. Right, we're flying through this right now. Southern California site whose 1909 opening was accompanied by a visit from the USS Albany. Salt? Something? I don't know. Attraction at roller coaster. Why was it accompanied by a visit from the USS Albany? That's what I'm worried. That's what I'm considering right now. So a room in a Adobe. Sal. Oh, what could this be? Like I know Sal is sort of like a foreign like if like it might be Spanish for like a hallway or a room of some kind, and perhaps Adobe is a signal that it's a Spanish word. Adobe is Spanish, I believe, right? Or might not be. Actually, maybe it's just specific to Adobes that you have a Sal or Sale. I don't know how you call that. Jaguar, to me, this looks like it's a car. It seems a bit direct, but let's see if that's correct. Tennis legend is, was it Monica Seles, I think? Barely gets by, scrapes by. Then what is this? To record. Okay, this looks right. Parody might be, I think, balance. Builds up. Right, okay. Then what is this? Largest freshwater lake. Superior. Lake Superior. All right, what else is there? Variety of dog associated with King Charles. King Charles. I'm interested that he has his own dog because I thought Queen Elizabeth had corgis. So did he just switch like got sort of rebranded maybe? More unpleasant. something accumulators build ups, right? So pat pater noster, I think, because this is like Latin for our, and then this is father in Latin, I imagine. And I've definitely heard of something similar, like going to some church services where they had sing in choir. So let's see, season, uh, a season. To season could be to salt, maybe. Perhaps it's salt. It might not be. I really like because what is this? Uglier, more unpleasant is uglier. Org associated with the Wanamaker Trophy is the PGA, the uh, what is it? It's the Golf Association, Pro Golfers Association. Oh, Spaniel. Okay, Spaniel is associated with King Charles. I didn't know that. To whom you might say, "I wish." I wish is a genie. You would say, "I wish to a genie." Then what is this? Bodily partitions, sects. I didn't know it was bodily. Maybe it's not sects, but it looks like it could be. A long cut is a gash. Then what is this? Southern California site. It's probably not uh well whatever that is. What is that? Um 1 in 3 in the Horatio Henry Coldry painting Curiosity. 1 of 3. These don't look correct though. Maybe it's was it septa? Oh right, because like septum, and I think and so the partition is septa. Oh, Santa Monica Pier. I know this is also as the sort of like the end site of the big run in Forrest Gump. He ends on Santa Monica Pier. He just got the end and then he realized like I'm just gonna go home now. So this is something else that's interesting about Santa Monica Pier. This could actually be Sol. Maybe it was spelled like this. I don't remember. Chaps could be men. Then what is this? An old man. An old man. Why is it a question mark here? Why is it question mark? What part of this is tricky? Um Man, this is interesting. Oh, Neanderthal. As an old man in a different sense, sort of like an ancient prehistoric man. Nice, okay. Nice. This was a fairly quick solve while I was talking about this. So let's just talk about some other interesting clues here. So a lot of interesting trivia that I didn't know before. Certainly, I think this was on the easier side of Saturdays. Sort of, I think mostly it's because in a grid shape like this, there aren't too many long answers. You would get these triple stacks here, and you would get a couple of eights like along here. But in general, with something like this, I feel like mostly you're working with very interconnected sections that are consisting mostly of like 6 and like fewer letter words. And in which case it will make it quite easy to sort of complete answers because you can work in individual sections and you will get a lot of letters really quickly. So in that sense, this was sort of a smoother Saturday, which is by no means a bad thing, especially when you have you know, when you have these long answers and then you have a couple of easier ones to complement it. It just makes it, more, I guess, fair, and solvable, which in this case was well done. Then let's see. I think in order to compensate for some of the, I guess, the less known words, perhaps things like this, you would have a longer description, which is totally fair because I think someone just seeing this might not really make the connection necessarily between the eye chart, the Snellen eye chart, and also just some other things, like you get, for instance, Magic Cluden's kind of interesting quote. I certainly never, well, I don't think this would have come to my mind immediately. So, of all the ways that you could have clued Magic, I think this was one that was very well done. A lot of things that were, I didn't know before. certainly EMI is a record label that I've heard of before, and I've never made this connection with this song, especially that was especially disparaging the former label and things like that. So, I enjoyed this puzzle because it was very clean and there were a lot of really smooth fills, and it was just really smooth solve. And on top of that, I learned a lot of new things. Like I also didn't know that apparently it was accompanied by a visit from this, which makes sense now that it's a pier. Yeah, and it has a roller coaster, which I think no, I think I've been there. Yeah, I think the Santa Monica Pier. I think I've been there before. Nice. Um, oh, I didn't see that before. One of the three in the Curiosity. I really like this one because, I think just um once you see the answer and you see the clue, you can make the connection here, where the word curiosity is signaling this connection with the cat, which is really nice. All right. This was a good Saturday. Thank you, Nick, for this puzzle. Yeah, that's it.